Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy BB27 here. And Logan has made a lot of bad videos over the course of the entire channel. So today I wanted to count down the top 10 worst Super Mario Logan episodes, in my opinion. And just because, this is like the 10 worst, doesn't fully mean these are like, this is it. I could honestly do a 100 worst for this channel. There are so many bad videos, and even the ones on this list are ones that like I hate a lot, and I definitely do think they're some of the worst of all time, but there's so many that it's hard to pick. Even just picking these took a while for me. And it's and even then it's still it's not even scratching the surface of bad SML episodes. Like that, this is just gonna be kind of brief, but I want to give you guys a little bit of an insight on how I feel. What do I think are some of the worst videos Logan has ever made? So we're gonna be starting off with number 10, which is Jeffys Bad Word. So Jeffys Bad Word is a really infamous Super Mario Logan episode way back in the day, like 2016, right around the time Jeffy first got introduced to the channel. And this video is really infamous for a couple things. I'm not gonna like kind of go over the entire plot of it, but basically, Jeffy does some stupid shit. He says like an insult to a guy in a store, and then the dude, Tyrone, takes it the wrong way and starts beating the shit out of Mario. And then everything gets blamed on Mario. And one of the big reasons why this video is so infamous is because when Mario is hitting Jeffy, or even just spanking him, Jeffy's like, oh, he's accusing him of rape, which just looks really bad for Nintendo. And that's a whole deeper thing, which I'm not, that doesn't really have much to do with, well, it does have everything to do with the video, but it doesn't have much to do with this countdown or like why I think the video sucks. There were just so many awful things about this video. Jeffy is a complete brat, and he's at one of his worst stages, which was early Jeffy. And everything getting blamed on Mario is really frustrating to watch when he literally didn't do anything. And him just trying to defend himself against literally the entire world. I mean, even his own fucking girlfriend turns on him, Rosalina, just starts thinking, taking Jeffy's side like she usually does. But it's really messed up in this episode because she has no good reason to take Jeffy's side, and she still does it anyways, even though she knew that Mario didn't like rape Jeffy. Like that never happened. It's a bullshit like claim on Mario, and it's a really messed up video. Like I get it's supposed to be funny, but it's just so damn annoying, which makes it one of the worst ones. A lot of the time, people will claim that this was like the number one worst video of all time, but it really isn't. There's way worse since this has come out. But back then, yeah, it was one of the worst ones of all time. So yeah, moving on. So for number 9, we have Jeffies Yesterday. So Jeffies Yesterday is kind of similar to the last one we talked about. Yes, this is another Jeffy video. Those are gonna pop up a lot. It's just Jeffy's a bad character, like subjectively a shitty character. So Jeffy's Yesterday, though, the big issue with this one and why I hate it so much and why a lot of people hate it is it has a similar thing going on where basically Mario is being tortured. It's a Mario torture video. The last one was like that too, where everything gets blamed on him. This time though, it's not like as bad of a claim as like the rape shit, but it's way awful for other reasons. And this is basically because Jeffy just takes advantage of Mario and makes him, take him everywhere. So they go to all these places and do all this stuff, and then he's just constantly forcing Mario to do everything because Mario can only say yes, he can't say no. So Jeffy does a bunch of horrible stuff, and then it's him and Scooter too, which is even worse than it just being Jeffy. He gets his friend Scooter, which is basically just Jeffy 2.0, and then they just torture Mario the whole video. The only redeeming factor of this episode is that near the very end, Mario does actually get a bit of revenge on Jeffy, and I think Scooter as well, and that's great. But the fact that almost the entire video is straight up Mario torture literally makes it one of the most annoying just frustrating, just god awful episodes in this entire like franchise. And there's a lot of ones like this that I could mention too, but this one's a little more extreme with how far they go with the Mario torture. So that's why it's on the list. But yeah, moving on. So now we got Joseph the Millionaire. A lot of people would think that this would be like my number one spot, and a lot of people will put this at their number one spot. And I mean, there's some good reasons for that, but to me, it's not a number one like awful video, but it's definitely up there. It's one of the worst SML videos of all time. And it's really sad though too, because this video was really hype in the first few minutes. The kind of idea here is that like Joseph is, you know, secretly a millionaire, and the other, you know, his friends didn't know about it, and he jumps in a bush, and it's like a portal to his mansion and all this like money and his butler and all that. But then as soon as they show off that cool moment, as soon as that ends, it immediately just turned into a 0 out of 10 video, just absolute garbage. Also, I do want to mention that every video on this list is either a 0 or a 1. Most of them are zeros, though, especially this one's like a 0. Just because, like, I mean, I like the beginning a lot, and it definitely had a potential, but the rest of the video is just Joseph crying and being a bitch to his butler. He basically treats him like how Goodman would treat the butler, but max that shit to like 1,000, because it's way worse with the abuse of the butler, and you end up just feeling bad for him the whole video and just wanting to strangle Joseph. Joseph is literally the most unlikable douchebag in this video for no reason. It's just because he has money. And on top of him, you know, being an ass to the butler, he also brags about everything on the boy's face and just be like, oh, look at how much better I am than you guys. Oh, look how much stuff I have compared to you guys. Like, he just starts being the worst like version of Joseph we've ever seen, and it's kind of ridiculous. Like, they really push it on. They really push the whole Joseph being a dick. So yeah, it's definitely one of the worst videos. It's pretty much unwatchable at some parts, and yeah, moving on. So for number 7, we got the pink couch. So the pink couch actually has a little bit of a different problem than most of the other videos on this list. It's more of a simple problem actually, but it's turned into such, like, it's like extremely maxed out to its worst possible like form, I guess. I don't know how else to explain it. So the problem with the video is that it's just like 100% filler. It's the whole thing is on the couch, which, okay, yeah, whatever, that happens sometimes. You can be like, you know, write it off if it's funny enough. But the problem with this video is that it just kind of uses one joke. It abuses the shit out of one joke, and the joke is about dying. It's like, oh, because they dyed the couch pink or something, and then Junior thinks that it's like real dying or something, and it's just him and Brooklyn guy going back and forth, and the dye joke just goes on for the whole 10 minutes. It is just straight up filler. Nothing happens. The joke isn't even funny. I mean, literally, like, at least make a funny joke and then abuse it. Like, no, the joke itself at the start isn't even funny, so they're abusing the shit out of the same joke almost the entire video, besides like a couple scenes that aren't like that. Which is kind of holding it back from being like lower on the list here. So it could definitely be like second worst video of all time if it didn't have some funny scenes in it. But it's still a god awful video. I mean, it's a piece of shit, really. This was one of the videos that made me actually quit SML back in 2021 with my friend Chris, like for about 2 years until I decided to come back with him and we started, you know, getting back into it. But yeah, the pink couch was one of the last ones I remember watching before quitting, and it was just so bad. So unbelievably bad. But yeah, moving on. So now we have the school project. This one is a big infamous video. It's just 100% shitty. Oh man, it is like... There has not been many SML videos that have made me this mad while watching it. And it's a really long one, too. And it's pretty much bad throughout the entire thing, which makes it even worse than, like, a normal, like, 10-minute bad video. This is, like, basically almost, like, about 20 minutes of just the same thing happening. So the plot here with this one is, you know, basically Junior breaks Cody's drone. This happens immediately, leading Cody and Junior to fight. and they don't just have like a little small argument. No, they have a giant argument throughout the entire video. And even by the end, nothing feels like it's gotten solved because Cody is backed into a corner by his parents and forced to apologize to Junior, even though Junior is the one who fucked up in the first place and was being a piece of shit to Cody just over a drone. Like, he's the one who fucked it all up in the first place, but then Cody's the one who has to apologize, and even then it doesn't even feel like they're cool again by the end, because nothing really gets solved. They spent about 20 minutes just constantly arguing before he half-assed apology, and then it just ends. It is literally one of the most annoying, I mean, I don't know what other words to use at this point, because, like, you're just sitting there watching this shit wanting to turn it off every second it's going on. That's really all I can say. It makes you want to punch the shit out of the screen. Like, Junior is unfortunately like an F-tier character here. Cody's pretty bad though too. It's just the constant fighting gets old really fast, and the fact that they don't even really solve it by the end makes you feel like you wasted like an almost 20-minute video on just literally nothing. It is so bad. I don't even know how to explain it. It is so bad. But yeah, moving on from this awful video. So now we have Junior's Scary Bump. This one's actually a lot more recent than any of the other ones on this list. It is so recent. It's not even funny. I actually did a rant on this one a few months ago. If you guys may remember that one, I was super pissed in it while reviewing it. But yeah, it's really, really bad. Like, when I gave that video a 0 out of 10 and said it was one of the worst ones of all time, I was not kidding. The plot completely ruined Junior's character. The whole thing is he just straight up cheats on Penelope, and then he thinks he has herpes, and he loses his mind over it, and then he realizes he doesn't, and then he, like, tries to apologize, but not really, just tells her, oh, I'm glad I don't have herpes, and then she, obviously, Penelope, breaks up with him, and then leaves. And this kind of starts like a little arc where it gets resolved by Junior basically lying to her again, and in a different video, which is also just a terrible video, but it's not on this list. It's not as bad, but it's still pretty bad. But this video though, oh my god, like, Junior is literally at his worst in this video that I've ever seen him. The fact that he just straight up cheats on her and doesn't even give a shit, and like, I know he's done a lot of scummy things and it's been a terrible person to his friends, but this really is pushing the limit there. Because this relationship is actually decent. It's not like, some one-off video or whatever. Like, no, like, they were actually dating for a bit, before this video happened. So it just makes it that much worse. And you just hate him even more just for doing that and being that type of person. Like, the fact that he finally has a good thing going for him and then just fucking ruins it is crazy. Absolutely crazy, and it makes it one of the worst videos of all time. But like, this literally made me hate Junior for a while. This really did. Like, I didn't know if I could ever forgive Junior at that point. And yeah, him and Penelope got back together later on after this video, but that doesn't change the fact that this pile of shit exists. And yeah, it's an easy 0 from me. So moving on. So now we have Codys Bad Word. This video is just, oh my, I was seriously debating putting this one at number 1 or 2, but there's a couple more coming up that, I feel, justified the spot a little more, but this video could honestly easily be a number 1 or 2 spot for worst video of all time. The reason it's so bad is mainly because of Joseph. It's another really like bad Joseph video, but it's just an overall thing too going on. It's both Junior and Joseph. The whole plot, there isn't one. There is literally, I'm not even kidding when I say this, there isn't really a plot to this video. They play Jenga, and then immediately Cody gets accused of being racist, and this goes on for the entire fucking video. I'm not kidding. The entire length, like whatever 10, 11 minutes this is just him being accused of being racist. And then almost like a similar thing that happened in the school project near the very end, he kind of gets forced to, like, I guess, apologize by his parents to Joseph, even though Cody did not do anything wrong. The reason he's being accused is because of a dumbass like mishearing on Junior and Joseph's part that's making them think that like, oh, Cody is, said the N-word or whatever, even though he literally never did. So it's just dragged out with them just tag teaming Cody and calling him racist. This has no other jokes in it. This has nothing else. It is completely filler. It is completely boring, and it is so damn irritating. It's honestly one of the worst videos they ever made. And I mean, I know I said that a lot, but this one really is one of the worst videos. I mean, how can you not even have a plot in your own damn video? There's literally no plot to this. It's pathetic, honestly. So, yeah, moving on. So now we're down to the final 3 videos, and starting it off, we have Jeffy's Tantrum. These videos are way more worse than anything else we've covered so far, and they reach kind of out on a bigger scale, a bigger level than these other ones in terms of how infamous they are, their impact, all that. These ones reach out way further, and they're so much more annoying to watch. So this one is kind of like a simple video. The whole idea is that Jeffy's constantly begging Mario for a video game he wants, and then Mario tells him no, 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 and Jeffy just starts destroying everything and being like the worst kid you could ever, see in your whole life. Or like Mario is just, and it's like straight up Mario torture as well, topped onto that. So like similar to some other videos like Locked Out, which we didn't, put on this list, but it almost was on this list. That one's all Mario tortured. This one's all pretty much Mario tortured too. He just has to sit back while watching all his shit get broken, like his TV and all his whole couch gets like thrown. And Jeffy's just being the worst piece of shit kid ever imaginable. So and there's also these really messed up scenes where he's trying to like hang himself, which this is what leads to kind of the big impact of the video. And what makes it really infamous is that there was this whole news story where a kid tied a noose and was like trying to be like Jeffy from the video, which, yeah, it's probably a fake story, but this was also something that was like, causing a lot of people to notice Logan. And this is also during kind of that time where like Good Morning America happened. It was a little bit after this video, I believe, but still, this was like, that news story did garner like a lot of attention and a lot of negative hate towards Logan's channel, and it's just sad to see that happen. It's a piece of shit video, though. Like, you hate Jeffy the entire thing, you want to strangle him to death. Like, he is just the worst character ever in this video. And, and then Mario, yeah, he kind of gets his way at the end because he doesn't, like, buy him the game or whatever, but the fact that he has to go through all of this shit first to do, and you can see all his stuff get broken, it is just painful to watch. It's straight up painful. But yeah, moving on. So now we got Jeffy's Kids. You guys may remember this one as well. It's another absolutely terrible video, but instead of just being like annoying or filler heavy or whatever, it's actually more disgusting. It's just more disgusting. It makes you sick to your stomach, and it's on an extreme level. Like, sure, it's not like the Shrek videos and how bad they get, but this one, it's just the whole concept of it is so fucked. He literally gets a Cheerio box pregnant, and then has like a kid, and then it comes out, and then it's all like deformed and like disabled like him, and Jeffy tries raising it and being a good dad, but they all end up getting killed and eaten by Junior, and then Junior goes to fucking jail for it, which that part always pissed me off a lot more than any other thing in the video, just because Junior didn't deserve that. He literally just wants cereal, and then he goes to jail for it. But like, it's just such a ridiculous, messed up, disgusting video, just nasty. I mean, yeah, I guess there's maybe a couple funny moments, but then there's also stuff like Brooklyn Guy eating the afterbirth, which makes me want to literally jump off a cliff and die. The fact that that part was even put into this video and that they thought of that is really sad and really sick. I can't lie. This is literally one of their worst videos they've ever made. Just everything. The plot, the characters, that shit with Junior that happens, the ending, like the whole package is just diarrhea. It is a terrible, disgusting video. And I mean, I get it. Maybe in the, the beginning, it's like, oh, it's kind of funny because like it's a Cheerio box being pregnant. But even then, it's just like they make it so much worse than it needs to be. And yeah, Jeffy's also just annoying little like toxic shit in the video too, which isn't helping. He's still at that very bad early year stage of Jeffy. So, it sucks to watch just because of that. But then there's all this other gross stuff on top of it, which makes it like 100 times worse. So yeah, obviously an easy 0. But it kind of is another infamous one because it got taken down a lot by YouTube, and Logan kept putting it back up, and then it also just started a bunch of hate for him in his channel. So yeah. Now we're going to be moving on to our last number 1 spot, and it may surprise some of you. A lot of you guys may be like, wow, he picked this one. But it's one that it always got on my nerves. So yeah, we're going to be moving on to number 1. For number 1, we have Jeffy breaks his leg. And this one, not a lot of you guys may remember it. It's like a 2018 Jeffy video, I'm pretty sure. This one is the worst SML video I think I've ever seen in my life. And there are some, most of the ones on this list could also be swapped for number 1. So you guys might be thinking, oh, well, he doesn't hate it that much more, but I still do hate it a lot. Like, there's just so many bad videos that it really is impossible to pick, a number 1 spot. But this video is probably the closest I think I can pick. So the whole idea is that, Mario runs over Jeffy's leg, and Jeffy puts it there on purpose because he's trying to get out of school. And this leads to like an almost 20-minute video where Jeffy treats Mario like a slave and has him do all his fucking slave bitch work for him and get him all this, these toys, these snacks. And then he uses these things against Mario and just treats him like awful. Just, it's kind of like this. It's a reskin of Junior Breaks His Leg, actually. There's another video that exists that was older than this called Junior Breaks His Leg. Similar concept. Junior, breaks his leg at the park and then gets Chef Pee Pee to do all this stuff. But that one's actually somewhat easier to watch. This one is literally unwatchable and just pisses me off constantly the entire time I'm watching it. I've only maybe ever seen this video like once or twice, but it left that much of an impact on me where I'm like, this is actually one of the worst videos I've ever seen. And it all is Jeffy's fault. It really 100% blame on Jeffy. It's all his fault why this video is awful. Brooklyn Guy tries to make it funny, but it just doesn't really go anywhere. It's one of the Brooklyn Guy's most boring performances, at least back then. I mean, he's had a lot more nowadays, and he takes over every video, but yeah, it's rough, man. It is a rough video. Like, sure, it's not, as disgusting or nasty as like Jeffy's Kids or even some of the other ones on that aren't on this list, like Jeffy gets pregnant. That one's really bad. But it's just constantly pissing me off the most, honestly, out of any of these videos on this list. Like, this is always one I'll point to and I'm like, yeah, Jeffy's a bad character. Like, this is like one of those prime videos I'll point to just because he pissed me off that much in this video. But yeah, Mario literally doesn't deserve any of it. It's not like he does anything. Like, that's the case, but in this one, it's like you really feel bad for him more than normal. So yeah, that is all the top 10 worst videos in my opinion. Of course, I could make more lists like this. I could do like a top 20, top 50, top 100, like way more videos I could have added to this. And there's even some ones on here I've swapped out. And there's just so many 0 out of 10 Logan videos. It was really hard making this video, like coming up with a list, just because there's so many dog shit SML videos out there that exist. But let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what you guys think are some of the worst videos of all time that Logan has put out. And, yeah, that's about it. Let me know what you want to see next. This was the big SML project, by the way, that I was mentioning in my Twilight Princess streams. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, bitch your boy later, all that. And peace out, stay lit, and take care.